welcome to another reball. Today I've got this motherboard from a HP DV9000. Believe it or not, I actually found this motherboard dumped on the street a few days ago. And I was like, hey, what is it doing here? Let me give it a try. And what I've done is when I got it, initially when you power it on, it just blinks and switches off immediately. So giving it a light reflow with my heat gun, and second time I power it on, it powers on and stays for a while. So that tells me it's definitely there's a GPU problem there. So I'm just gonna give it a try and reball the GPU right here and see what happens. So now just covering up the areas I don't want to heat up, the areas I don't want to move, especially all these little caps and components. Please make sure the chip is dead in the center, so I'm gonna use it this way. And already my motherboard sat down on those, but I can see this little one here, there's a little shake, so I'm gonna that's because align the top heater with the chip, this dead center with the chip, bring it down, and also from the side dead center with the chip. Okay, while your profile is running, in the middle of it, or the start of it, you might want to start and get your stencils ready and your mount ready. So you want to clean it so the balls don't stick. I have already aligned my my stencil here. Just gonna give it a good, and I'm going to add flux. I'm using Amtech 559 ASM flux. Okay, I'm approaching its 200 degrees now. When we had 215, that's when I want to start my sucking tool. And at 215, there's already good signs that the flux is bubbling. There we go, we have a lift. Quickly stop the machine. Start your bottom and top cooler. There's my chip here. Okay, got my chip. Here's my chip. I'm gonna let it cool. Put it down here. Okay, this is the part where I have to do the explaining. Here I'm simply applying the new solder balls. After the chip has been removed from the motherboard, we removed the solder of it, the old weak solder, and replaced it with fresh solder balls in that little tin there. There was a very tiny 0.6 millimeter precise, the size of the solder ball, to go in each pad on the chipset. And we're using these stencils or molds that they go right on top of the chip, and they have holes in them, so for the solder ball to drop right where it's supposed to be. And we then heat up the solder balls to stick into the chip before putting it back into the motherboard. And I use leaded solder balls because I simply like leaded better. We've tried in the past lead-free, lead solder. We've tried a variation of different solders, and we found that the leaded generally lasts much longer. And also it depends also where we get the lead from. Some lead solder also didn't last very long because it came from very dodgy manufacturers, So we always obtain the highest quality of leaded solder balls, so we can improve the how long your repair lasts. And after a quick clean with alcohol and other chemicals, we give the video chip inspection, make sure she's ready to go back, make sure she's usable again. If she's not, we have to replace it with the new one. There's a close-up of the video chip. Look how clean is that. It looks brand new again. I mean, love it. See how each solder ball was aligned according to the design of the chip. And now I'm preparing myself for doing the next step, which is to clean the solder from the motherboard too, not just from the chip. And that is the hardest part, the most difficult part, the most riskiest part. I mean, my heart is probably beating like 200 beats per second in doing this, and but you have to keep calm. I have to keep very calm, very gentle, despite the how risky this procedure is, because one wrong move and you can render the whole motherboard useless. So I'm being very gentle, very smooth during this procedure. This whole video has been cut down for commercial use, for public use. It's just a preview now, but I actually originally, this was shot a long time ago, so as a sort of a tutorial for people to learn reballing. But despite how many videos I made countless of videos to try and teach it through video, I just could not. There is no way. I didn't like any of the videos I made. I make them, I look at them a week or two later, and I always miss something. Or I just can't find the perfect way to teach someone reball. The only way I could teach someone is through face-to-face, in person, on location. I do offer training, not to everyone, but I do offer. If you check my website, I'm charging £1,000, and I'll teach anyone, beginner to advanced, for how to do this particular repair. So preparing the solder, obviously I'm cleaning it with the soldering iron. Always clean it with a leaded solder, so the tip doesn't stays fresh and cool and warm and hot, and it doesn't oxidize. And you know, if it's dark and it doesn't heat up much, it doesn't melt the solder, you know it's oxidized. So you have to clean your tip every time. And here's the part where I'm removing the solder from the motherboard, still the lead-free old solder, the manufacturer solder from the motherboard where the chip used to sit at. With braid. So the reason why we do this repair, I repeat for those who don't know, is we've just seen a lot of laptops, especially HP, but a lot of Dells and Sonys and Acers that use dedicated graphics, and we see those failing a lot because they haven't been serviced properly, they haven't been made properly, they haven't. Or people use them for gaming all the time, and these video chips, after a year or two, they simply fail. Well, you can see now how clean is the motherboard looking now, where the video chip used to sit at. It's perfectly flat, absolutely flat and clean and smooth. So you might ask, you know, why would I need this repair? This repair is needed when your laptop suddenly has a bad GPU, when you power it on and the lights come on but nothing comes on the screen, and you plug it to an external monitor and nothing happens there. You experience some fuzzy screen, some duplicate images on your screen, even from the BIOS. Here we just place the chip back on the motherboard and we're gonna bake it again. So you will also see lines across the screen, or a red screen, or a white screen, anything that has some graphical issue, something, because that's what the graphic chip does. It's responsible for everything that shows on your screen. So if your screen is messed up, and it's not the screen's fault, it's not a cracked screen, or then it's most likely the motherboard. Usually you can verify when you plug in an external monitor. But sometimes on motherboards they have an external output. You might not know this, but dedicated motherboards have dedicated video chip. When you plug it into the external monitor, you're actually using the north bridge. You're not using your dedicated video chip. The dedicated only outputs to the onboard video and not to the external. So put this in mind, okay? Now, except for HDMI. Anyway, now we're looking at the video chip being baked back, and we're gonna see when we reach melting point, and you're gonna see those solder balls reach melting point and liquefy, and you might even see the chip drop into the motherboard if you're that good. Here is the end of our temperature profile, where we're gonna reach melting point. You can see on the left side of the chip those shiny solder balls. When they're shiny, means they're melting there, but they still maintain their shape. You know, they don't change their shape. They change size. They go from a 0.6 to either a 0.5 or a 0.4. I'm not entirely sure, but they do go smaller. However, they don't. I mean, the distance between one ball and another is very, very small. Yet they are so clever, these solder balls. Like, they have a mind of their own. They do not stick with the ball next to them. Of course, if you know what you're doing, they don't, and they maintain their shape, and they go exactly to where they're supposed to be, which is wonderful. Now you can see them slowly disappearing on the left. It's almost, you can't see them anymore, and the whole chip has just dropped. And now after we finish, we just wait for the motherboard to cool down, and then we're gonna test it, and we're gonna see later if this has worked or not. But again, I would really like to warn you that there are this repair called reballing, BGA reballing, is very rare to find. It's not something you can find in every repair shop or repair company, no matter how big or small. It's carried out only by the best of the best. So make sure whoever claims he's doing this can provide you with evidence, because I don't mind providing a photo evidence that I've done the work. Actually, I'm so proud to do this work. I would be great, you know, to take a picture to prove that it's been done. And normally the picture would be the picture of your motherboard with your serial number without the video chip on the motherboard. That definitely proves your motherboard's been reballed. And I also provide the 6 months guarantee minimum. If you want a year or two, no problem. But if you want to check how to spot a non-reballer, a reflower, you can go onto my site and find out more about it, how to spot a reflower. Because really, a reflow, if it's not free or if it's not real cheap, it's not a fix. You shouldn't pay for it. It's never gonna last anyway. It's gonna last probably a month if you're lucky, or usually just a week or two. And has this worked? We're gonna find out. So thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this 10-minute video. And if you have any questions, if you require the service, that we're gonna put some of the companies who use the reballing at the end of the video. Thanks for watching my channel. Thanks. Bye. Oh yeah, one more thing. You might ask why motherboards. Why should I just buy a motherboard? Motherboards on eBay are also being reflown, so you can only last a short while too when you buy them. I never buy motherboards from the internet, never ever. Whether described new or not new, if it's not coming from the manufacturer straight away, I never buy it, because the warranty is so ridiculous. Just a month or 2 or 3 months warranty. Nah. So just to clear that up. Take that to Hannah today and